Good evening. Thank you so much for staying tuned to Millennium TV. You're now watching the evening news with me, Karen Chinda. The headlines. Economic Front accuses UPND senior officials of spearheading violence. Mining expert calls for increased production in the mining sector. Government challenged to invest in nuclear energy. In international news, M23 rebels pull out of key Congolese army base. And in sports news, Brazil embassies spreads Copa Queens frenzy with Copa sales drive. Here's the news. Now for the news in detail, Economic Front says it is hypocritical for UPND's senior leadership to come out and pretend that the violent behavior perpetrated against Economic and Equity Party President Chilufya Tayali in Chingola at Kokoliko radio station did not have a blessing from them. Economic Front chairperson for Information and Media, Fuad Nsensema, says most of those members involved in violence are leaders serving on the UPND party structures in Chingola and Mufulira districts. Mr. Nsensema says the members are well-known leaders in UPND party structures. He said Zambians are now aware that the UPND have failed to deliver their promises, hence resort to violence and shut criminal voices speaking against them.
As the Economic Front Party, we are of the view that it is very hypocritical for UPND senior leadership to come out and pretend that the violence behavior perpetrated against EEP President Mr. Chilufya Tayali in Chingola on the Copper Belt at Kokoriko radio station did not have a blessing from them, when most of those cadres involved in violence are leaders serving on UPND party structures in Chingola and Mufulira district. UPND party must stop being hypocritical and learn to be honest and stop acting like chameleons by saying something good during the day while in the night they are doing something evil. Those cadres are well-known leaders in UPND party structures with registers sitting at the UPND secretariat who can only act upon instruction from some senior top leadership. Also, the incident that took place at Mafken radio station, where UPND cadres invaded the radio stations and kept vigil to stop a political party leader from featuring on the program, is not only unfortunate, but an assault to freedom of speech and media freedoms. As a party, we strongly condemn the act with the contempt it deserves. Therefore, we call upon the police to immediately arrest those violent cadres because they are well-known UPND cadres. Zambians are aware that now the UPND have failed to deliver on their promises. Hence, they want to resort on violence to shut on critical voices speaking against them and speaking on behalf of the people of Zambia.
Now, the leadership movement has challenged the New Dawn government to invest in nuclear energy. Party President Richard Silumbe says the country has enough uranium which can be used for clear nuclear energy. The opposition leader says Zambia needs to start using its resources in mitigating some challenges it is facing. He said once government invests heavily in the nuclear energy, the challenges the country is facing, the energy sector, will be a thing of the past.
This cannot come from a government that puts Zambians first. We have not heard of load shedding in the Copper Belt to mining companies who have capacity to even replace electricity with other sources of power. For instance, coal, and so on and so forth. But these are the people that we have put as a priority. Whilst we are not shedding the Zambian people, farmers are affected. A lot of entrepreneurs who are owning small businesses, manufacturing centers are being affected. The whole day they cannot function because of load shedding. And we have seen that barbershop owners are losing a lot of revenue. We have seen that people who own welding machines who are making things they cannot operate anymore. And we have seen how so many other sectors of the economy is being affected.
The opposition Economic Freedom Fighters EFF President Kasonde Mwenda has urged the new Dawn administration to invest heavily in the energy sector. Mr. Mwenda told Millennium Television News in an exclusive interview that with the 12 hours load shedding, the country's aligning economy will finally collapse, and hence the new Dawn should invest in the energy sector to cushion the challenges. The opposition leader said the new Dawn government needs to work tirelessly in order to save the economy.
The introduction of load shedding is not based on rocket science. It is a result of the kind of investment. And you know, each political party that comes in comes with a manifesto and an agenda. And the UPND, unfortunately, had sold to us an agenda that they had finished load shedding. They had the roadmap. So we are also perturbed to see that, unfortunately, they have brought load shedding. This will have serious ramifications because there's no country which is not anchored on energy. First, they increased the tariffs for ZESCO, for electricity connection. That already brought exclusivity. A lot of people were excluded from entering the benefits that comes with the public utility ZESCO. To make matters worse now, even that electricity now will not be there. So as things stand, we see the economy slowing down, getting down and down. Already the issues are already on us. The kwacha has depreciated. Yesterday it was on 18 kwacha, 25 ingwe per dollar. Already today, just overnight, it is now going to 18 kwacha, 25 ingwe. This is the money that the president was telling us that he had a solution. When he's sworn in by 14 hours, it would have appreciated. So this, unfortunately, is a kind of quagmire, a problem that as a country we have found ourselves in. And I'm appealing to this government that it's not too late. They can go renegotiate with the IMF, and they should now get to be in control of this government. Because at this rate we are going, it is the people that are suffering. I've seen there's a tendency now among most of the officials in government. They are boasting when they go out how they are clinching deals, personal deals. So now it has become one man for himself. When they go out there, they are coming up with strategies. They are clinching deals for themselves, not for the country. So this lack of patriotism that has permeated this government is a very sorry sight. So we are asking these people that were entrusted, at least it is a moral duty and responsibility to put the interest of the people at first, not self. So this government has come in with a serious appetite for self and not to serve the people. And we are not surprised because this is the kind of dialogue that the president has set pace.
The Zambia Development Agency, ZDA, says it is working on limiting the issuance of investment licenses to 5 days. ZDA Acting Director General Albert Halomba says the agency wants licenses to be issued within 5 days as a way of attracting both local and foreign investors. He said that all investment licenses applications that the agency received in 2022 were issued, they were dealt with within 10 days from the initial application date. He added that the agency will continue to harness a conducive business environment for the country to record more investments.
Our economy is still small for us to just say only Zambians. That's why we're talking about partnerships. Fellow Zambians, partner with foreigners and develop this country. They will bring what you don't have, and you also bring what they don't have. The natural endowments in this country, I mentioned about mining licenses or land or whatever, use that as equity so that you partner with foreigners and be able to invest in your own country. From the previous statistics, we saw that nearly 51% of all these investments we talk about is done by the local investors. So we are very happy that by the statistics we actually have more local investors than foreign investors. And again, I'm using legal terms here. We have more local investors than foreign investors. But we are encouraging you Zambians to continue looking for partnerships and making sure that you actually be part of the process. ZDA, the business community, we could be giving an investment license within 1 day. And that is very possible. And that's our target. So to the business community out there, ZDA is here. We are trying to do our level best. We'll make sure that when you apply for an investment license, we'll make your life easy. Our job is to facilitate. So at the moment, within 10 days, we are issuing investment licenses. We are targeting 5 days and targeting even 1 day, within 1 day, probably within this quarter.
Now, mining expert Edward Simukonda has called for increased production in the mining sector. He said the mining firms must prioritize to invest in production. Speaking in an interview with Millennium Television, Mr. Simukonda said this will be the only way the country will increase its exports and start earning enough foreign exchange. Mr. Simukonda also said that mining firms must focus on promoting value addition, which will enable to better the country's economy.
Copper production for 2023. Are we going to make it as planned? Well, there's something to really think about. But I just urge government and all key players in the production of our copper that, looking at our current situation, we all know that it will be very difficult for us to meet our targets as we had planned, because our situation is not so favorable. I'd urge that we try and concentrate on production of materials from the copper that we produce, so that we add value to what we're producing and gain more money or income rather from what we're going to export. We've already got some of the industries in the country. For instance, Zamefa on the copper belt in Wansha. Maybe government could start thinking of expanding it so that we can produce more wires, so that we can start using local wires, unlike the imported wires that we're currently using, more than our local produced wires. We could actually make ourselves the hub of copper wire production in this particular region. Again, we've got small companies that are producing motors or rewinding motors. I think these deserve to be, supported with the copper that we're actually producing. I think we should concentrate much on adding value, unlike trying to meet the target that we've put our minds to, because it's not going to be easy. There's a lot of things that are involved in trying to reach such a target.
The Emeralds and Semi-Precious Stones Mining Association of Zambia, SMAZ, has a small-scale miners to exercise patience as it is in serious discussions with the Grizzly Mining Limited for the purchase of mining equipment to be used for the extraction of emeralds. SMAZ President Victor Kalesha has, however, urged the miners to present their mining records so that the association can be aware of which miners will be beneficiaries of the initiative after the mining equipment has been purchased. He says the initiative is aimed at ensuring that miners become viable and be able to contribute to the growth of the sector. Meanwhile, Mr. Kalesha says that the association is also in discussions with the Zambia Embassy in France and the First Secretary, Trade and Commerce at the Zambia Embassy in India to ensure adequate marketing of the emerald sector. Now, Water Resource Management Authority, WAMA, has reviewed floods alert on the Zambezi River and on the Bangweulu River. WAMA Public Relations Officer Mubiana Nalwendo says the high rise in the river flows is likely to affect the Chavuma, Zambezi and Mitete districts. He said that Zambezi River in Zambezi district is currently showing a trigger of a medium flood likely to reach the peak of on the 14th of January 2023. He said this will affect Kashona, School, Kalyamba, Kaombasango, Chizunda, Muwema, Njolomba, Kanyomvu and Kalunde villages.
We have our monitoring, flood monitoring system has picked 3 flood alerts that are likely to affect the northwestern part of the country. So we have seen 2 trigger points or 2 flood alerts on the Zambezi River, and one is on Lungwemungu River, which is a tributary of Zambezi River. So ideally, these floods are expected to affect Chavuma district, Zambezi district itself, and Mitete district. So the details are that Zambezi River around Zambezi district is experiencing medium flood that will be expected to reach their peak on the 14th of January 2023. These floods will affect a number of villages and a number of settlements around the river stream. So these include Kashona School, Kaliamba, Chizunda Village, Muema, Njolomba, and Kalunde. Then Lungawungu River is the one that we have seen that will experience severe floods, and these will expect to reach their peak on the 6th of January 2023, stretching all the way up to the 8th of January.
And on that note, we conclude our local stories for the evening. We take a break. When we come back, we continue with more international as well as sports news. Do stay tuned.
Everyone looks for quality and durability when it comes to printing materials. While at L&J Perez Investment, we provide you with both. Whether you're an individual or corporate, L&J Perez provides you with all your needs. Come and access the best quality large format printing, embroidery, t-shirt printing, stationery work, vehicle branding, shop and office branding. We also provide you with ZABS approved number plates and all your printing materials. L&J Perez Investment Limited, serving you differently.
Welcome back. We continue with the main news. In international stories this evening, M23 rebels on Friday handed over the Rumangabo army base to East African Regional Forces after nearly 2 months in charge. At a brief ceremony held at the facility, a rebel representative said the gesture symbolizes the group's commitment to peace. The summit held in the Angolan capital last November ordered the rebels to vacate all Congolese territory under their occupation. The Rumangabo base, located in the Rushutsu territory, fell to the rebels in November.
The M23 rebels on Friday handed over the Rumangabo army base to East African Regional Forces after nearly 2 months in charge. At a brief ceremony held at the facility, a rebel representative said the gesture symbolizes the group's commitment to peace. A summit held in the Angolan capital last November ordered the rebels to vacate all Congolese territory under their occupation.
The takeover for Rumangabo, la prise de Rumangabo signifie yet another critical milestone. Signifie donc démontre un pas en avant on his going effort sur ses efforts en cours to bring peace and stability in the eastern of Africa. Pour restaurer la paix et la stabilité dans l'est de la RDC.
The Rumangabo base, located in the Rutshuru territory, fell to the rebels in November. In December, the rebels withdrew from another strategic town of Kibumba, but have since gone on to capture more territory. The Congolese military has called the withdrawals a sham.
Mali's military junta leader, Colonel Assimi Goita, pardoned the 49 Ivorian soldiers convicted of undermining Mali's state security and conspiracy against the government on Friday. The pardon comes 1 week after 46 of the soldiers were sentenced to 20 years in prison. The 3 women who had been freed early September were tried in absentia and sentenced to death. Government spokesperson Colonel Adoblai Maiga shared the news on national Malian television.
Mali's military junta leader Colonel Assimi Goita pardoned the 49 Ivorian soldiers convicted of undermining Mali's state security on Friday. The pardon comes 1 week after 46 of the soldiers were sentenced to 20 years in prison. Government spokesperson Colonel Maiga shared the news on national television. His Excellency Colonel Assimi Goita, President of the Transition, Head of State, granted his pardon with full remission of sentences to the 49 Ivorians convicted by the Malian courts. This gesture by Colonel Goita is prompted as a way to keep peace between the neighboring countries. This gesture once again demonstrates his attachment to peace, dialogue, Pan-Africanism, and the preservation of fraternal and secular relations with the countries of the region. The 49 soldiers were detained in July when they went to work for Sahelian Aviation Services, a private company contracted to work in Mali by the UN. The January 1st deadline set by ECOWAS for Mali to release the soldiers was missed, but no sanctions were encountered.
And on that note, we conclude our international stories. We take our final commercial break. When we come back, we take a look at some of our sports news. We'll be right back.
Cool off with Aquarite. Available in 18.9 liters, 10 liters, 5 liters, 2 liters, 750 mils, and 500 mils. For orders and inquiries, visit, call, or email us today. Aquarite. Live a vibrant life.
Welcome back. We now take a look at our sports news. The Embassy of the Republic of Zambia in Brazil has stocked Copa replicas for sale to boost support to the Copa Queens ahead of the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup to be held in Australia and New Zealand. The embassy has acquired the kit for sale to the Zambian community in Brazil and football lovers in general. The Copa Queens frenzy is slowly spreading world over, especially the world draws closer to the Australian and New Zealand FIFA World Cup. Zambia is in Group C alongside Spain, Japan, and Costa Rica. The biggest women's sporting event in the world will run from the 20th of July to 20th of August 2023. And on that news, we do conclude the news for this evening, but before we go, here's a recap of the headlines. Economic Front accuses UPND senior officials of spearheading violence. Mining expert calls for increased production in the mining sector. Government challenged to invest in nuclear energy. In international news, M23 rebels pull out of key Congolese army base. And finally, in sports news, Brazil Embassy spreads Copa Queens frenzy with Copa sales drive. Those are the stories we had for you on tonight's Millennium TV Evening News with me, Karen Chinda. Thank you so much for watching and good evening.
Everyone looks for quality and durability when it comes to printing materials. While at L&J Perez Investment, we provide you with both. Whether you're an individual or corporate, L&J Perez provides you with all your needs. Come and access the best quality large format printing, embroidery, t-shirt printing, stationery work, vehicle branding, shop and office branding. We also provide you with ZABS approved number plates and all your printing materials. L&J Perez Investment Limited, serving you differently.
What is the biggest hindrance in collecting of mineral royalties according to the Zambia Revenue Authority?
The declaring the sales by mining companies, then the declare.
University Challenge Season 1 ran from May to July of 2022. As we await Season 2 that will start running in February of 2023, I sit down with Paul Shingongo, presenter and co-producer of Season 1, to appreciate the key highlights that came with University Challenge Season 1. Join me.
So the University Challenge Season 1, our objective was to inculcate the spirit of research in the students. It was one of the big projects we've embarked on as a media house. So we were trying to, and even in the preceding seasons, we are trying to inculcate a spirit of research and reading for our students.
Which medical specialty is concerned with the diseases of the blood?
Hematology.
Hematologist for 5 points.
Stephen Hawking.
Try again. And your time is up. We pass on the question to Texila American University.
The way we framed and designed the program is that we had 3 categories.
Round 1 comprises of general knowledge. Round 2 comprises of business and current affairs. Round 3 is academia, and this is equally broken down into categories. And for this particular episode, round 3, we have psychology, we have medicine and health, and we have mathematics. And I pray, I hope that we have people that will choose mathematics.
We brought in various stakeholders, various sponsors.
This program is brought to you courtesy of Prudential Life Assurance Zambia, Manzi Valley, the Higher Education Authority, and our hosts, Gordon Peacock Hotel, where we're broadcasting from.
In a nutshell, we utilized our capacity. We utilized our human resource for the station, and that remains our strength. Even in other programming as a station, we have a team that is able to undertake any project. We have various professionals in-house. We have researchers in-house. We have technicians in-house. We have qualified presenters in-house.
There's something that's in a store, you made a sale, from something that maybe is a business or whatever it is. It's different.
The third runner-up is Texila American University. At this point, it is my privilege to invite on stage for the awarding of prizes.
So there were specific amounts that were given to the top 3.
The champion from this competition will walk away with 45,000 kwacha. Second best team walk away with 32,500 kwacha. Third best team walks away with 22,500 kwacha. And the fourth place team walks away with certificate of participation.
It was fulfilling to the students. It was exciting, especially the grand finale. Vita, I'll tell you, most of the students, the hype was there, the excitement was there. Even things that they missed out, some of the questions that they missed out, they got wrong in previous episodes. In the season finale, they would come up and say, now we know this, now we know this. And that is what we're trying to, achieve. Season 2 is coming. We're excited. The team has been planning actually extensively for this. We have incorporated other universities that didn't have a chance. You must also be aware that a number of institutions have been coming. We want to participate in season 2. A number of colleges as well, who are not universities in court, have been coming, also want to participate, and we need to create space for them in preceding episodes. But coming to season 2, we have redesigned the program to be more educative, to be more intense, more entertaining, even to our viewers. We brought in other institutions that didn't participate earlier on as well. The viewers, I think, should be very excited to see this coming forth. We have the first episode that will be running first week of February. From our plans, all the institutions are ready.
We are simply here to set the stage for you. And how do we hope to do that as Prudential? By reaching as many people as possible at all levels through multiple channels, impacting and extending knowledge on industry matters, and realizing our CSR vision for education.
So otherwise, we are so grateful to Millennium TV for the first ever University Challenge. We are also grateful to Prudential Assurance, Life Insurance, for making this possible. As a University of Zambia, we're excited to be part of this University Challenge, and I think it's a good opportunity for students to express themselves.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shingongo, for joining me.
Thank you so much, Vita.
That is Mr. Shingongo, co-producer and presenter.
Cool off with Aquarite. Available in 18.9 liters, 10 liters, 5 liters, 2 liters, 750 mils, and 500 mils. For orders and inquiries, visit, call, or email us today. Aquarite. Live a vibrant life.